one of my favorite moments of the Pop Out concert was obviously the intro
Right.
when Kendrick came in playing Euphoria. And there was a sample. It wasn't a sample. He actually played the song, My Latest Greatest Inspiration. Right. And you look at some of the songs that Kendrick has put out over the years. Stop Playing With Me Before I Turn You to a Song. You know, all these things that he's done. You know, all the little, you know, all the subs they were throwing.
Yeah.
You know, it really does feel like Kendrick has been inspired by Drake, like pushed by Drake. Like that was like a motivating thing for him to continue. You know, Michael Jordan had to create all kinds of villains in his mind in order to push himself to greatness, right? He would look at maybe small things, slick things another player was saying in the newspaper, and that would motivate him to continue to care, right? That's how you end up with like 6 titles.
Right.
Now that Kendrick has clearly packed Drake up, pack that boy up.
Pack that boy up.
What do you think Kendrick does now? Do you think he'll move with the same vigor? Do you think he'll have the same what happens when a person takes out their biggest challenge?
I think that he's already starting to do it, right? I think that you move it to less about you and more about we. I think the show was the first step in that direction. I think that he could have went many different directions with that show. There's some people in LA who I'm sure felt like they should have been part of that show. There's some people in LA who probably feel like that sound that was the first opening up, like on DJ Heads, like they're like, no, that's the sound of one part of LA. What about like on the Lamert side? And what about this? Like there's so many different sounds that exist just in the West Coast in general. I think they did an awesome job. Him and Mustard did an awesome job of curating what would be the way that you present the culture in a way that an audience has already been kind of, for whatever reason, they've been turned off to it, right? They haven't really been tapping in. I remember, and I know this because I make content about West Coast stuff all the time. I got videos on my channel, how to make West Coast beats. I did a cinematic piece where I'm like playing a GTA San Andreas character and I usher it in. Had so much fun with it, but people were like, still, I don't really like West Coast stuff. And it's so amazing to me that Kendrick created a song in Not Like Us, and it is such a Draco the Ruler influence flow. It is such a, of course, it's a Mustard beat, which is another sound out here. And he's rapping in a way that's like, ooh, like the homies like, oh, you getting real Easty on there. Like he's rapping a certain type of way that's like, that feels like home. What does Kendrick do? In his opening set, he invites people who make music that would fall really great on a playlist with that song. Okay, that's your introduction to West Coast. That's the only thing that you know about cool. And then the thing that I think people are overlooking that is so, so powerful. He brought Steve Lacy and he also brought Tyler the Creator. What you got to understand is that as much as Tyler the Creator is so well received across now, there was a point in time when it was him and the Future kids where they were looked at as like the weirdos from the other side. Oh, this nigga's a weirdo from Hawthorne. And when it comes to like LA rap, if it doesn't sound a certain way, if you're not from a certain part of the culture, if you skateboard, if you don't do the things that are normally associated with Black folks, you kind of get pushed to the outside. For him to be embraced in there and show just how diverse it is out here, I see Kendrick now. I think he gave $200,000 to initiatives in the community. I think he's going to hopefully take this on tour, create an album to go along with it, bring names that you wouldn't normally see associated, right? Because they're very like TDE's been very careful about who they associate with, and they're very strategic, I should say, about alliances within music. I could see that happening to where it's like, we kind of a We the West type of situation where you go all the way around you take this thing on tour. Now, that could potentially be problematic in certain places like Canada. I don't think they'd have any issues with that. But my thing is this, I think that he turns it into more about the people now. And I'm not saying he never was. I just think that Mr. Morale did, instead of doing this, is the first album he allowed himself to do this. Here's stories that mean something to just Kendrick Lamar and my immediate family. And I need to tell these stories. But I feel like that album was him purging everything so that he can get ready for this.
I think so too. The more I look at it, it's like, okay, before someone can actually push this button on me, let me go ahead and do the work on myself. Let me go do some ayahuasca, strip the ego from the bottom. You know what I mean? I think one of the other things that well, to your point about Canada, I'm not sure, man. What I see with Drake, this dude is, you describe the Hard Part 6 as not going out swinging. I think we're seeing his going out swinging. He is going out violent. To me, this is what Paranoid and Spiraling looks like. He's making, this dude, you know, since this whole battle has happened, right? They're shooting at it. He's got gunshots. He said, I don't want to say he said, I can't confirm that, but he has clearly been repping Hell's Angels since 2018, at least. He's God's plan. He's quoting Hell's Angels stuff.
What was the line in that one? I didn't catch that one.
It's the 81 line. So the 81, 8 is H, 1 is A. That's how. So if you look at Hell's Angels gear, it all has.
He did this in God's plan?
God's plan, which is wild in itself, right? But you start looking at that, then they show up at a Rick Ross concert. All right, look, a battle, fans can do anything. I'm not going to put that on Drake. I haven't seen him push a button or nothing like that, right? But you know, I do think that I think the climate is ripe right now to where, yeah, Canada might be a problem, you know, straight up one way or the other. But away from that, you know, there's another conversation where people wonder if Kendrick's going to go away for 5 years again, and we're not going to get a whole bunch of music. I firmly believe, and we talked about this, and I did want to have this debate. We had a conversation about what is Kendrick missing from his catalog at this point to be the greatest, right? And now I've made a Kendrick GOAT piece in 2016, right? So I already think he has enough to be considered in the conversation, right? One thing that people do criticize Kendrick for is that he will take long breaks in between albums, especially between Damn and Mr. Morale. That was 5 years. That was a long time. He did a lot of work on himself to get there, right? I don't think we're going to see that kind of gap again. I don't think he can afford to have that kind of gap again, especially because they have PG Lang. They have their own situation, have their own label. No one starts a label and then goes away and let their label sit and not be in the conversation. But two, I honestly think if there's one 100% certified GOAT quality that Kendrick is missing, is the crazy feature run, where he just shows up on everyone else's joints. And
he's made them count, though. He's made them count, the ones he has, even from a pop standpoint, even from a rap standpoint. Like, and he's picked random ones. Like one line I remember from Kendrick that I think he stood very true to is, you know, the line where people are telling him that, you know, he's more conscious, and he's like, you don't understand. Like, I'm the middle ground between conscious and Compton. Like he says, I forget the way he says it, but I think that's also, to answer the last question too, I think this is also how he could probably patch that up. I don't know. My argument to you when we had this conversation was that features are important only because we get to see all the different sides of you on different productions, see your versatility. I think he's shown that. I feel like features to me feel like, when we're talking about the GOAT debates in basketball, to me, it feels like the dunk contest. Have you done a dunk contest, though? Because, truth be told, one of our favorite rappers in 3 Stacks, he's missing that.
No, he's not. What do you mean? Even his feature run was crazy in the 2000s. He wasn't dropping. Wait. Hold on. We got to give context. We got to get context. We're walking. Not missing a feature. I'm waiting to hear this.
We got to give context. We're walking. Hold on, I gotta say this. Let me say this, because I do sound crazy right now. I started realizing all of the features that came in my head right now. I sound crazy. We're comparing this because now the conversation that I saw online after this whole battle was that, does this help Kendrick, if you didn't already see it this way, surpass Lil Wayne in the GOAT conversations for this era? And that was one of the arguments that you made, was that one of the features that Lil Wayne has is that literal world record for the most features in a given 365-day calendar. So, in the scope of using that as the top of the pyramid, he has more. He don't got Lil Wayne feature more. He's like Kendrick's right here. Very, very powerful, small set. 3 Stacks is a little bit higher on that bar graph, but that Lil Wayne bar graph is here.
I mean,
So, Case, then what
I see you moving the goalposts. It's all good. I
a
mean,
little bit.
you know, because Wayne doesn't have the catalog that Kendrick has. You know what I mean? So a lot of these things are interchangeable with everybody, right?
Sure.
I'm just looking at Kendrick and everything that he's offered creatively, and looking at what's missing. Like, I just don't have a dominant feature. I would like personally, I would love for him to do that. I hope he's inspired to do that now. I hope he's listening to little subtle things that people might be saying online. Like, oh, he's gonna go away for 5 years. Oh, well, he doesn't show up like the boy and drop all these features. I would love for him to be inspired by that and give us that as well. We know he's in album mode right now. He just signed his new deal. We know project. We know that there was a lot more songs made over this, 5-year period, this 5-year gap. We know that he's got at least 5 more joints ready for Drake. You never know.
Hey, if you're Kendrick, do you rewrite those songs and put them out?
No.
Or you keep those in the chamber just in case you want to start acting up again?
He's currently acting up now.
He is. I don't think he's done. I don't think he's done yet. I think he might let one more of them out, and I think if it falls anywhere short of what Drake's expectation is, he gonna be like, "We back in, we got it again." There's no way for somebody who is going through all the stuff that you pointed out. There's no way he's taking this, and he's not taking this well. He's still acting like nothing happened. He's still acting like, I've been going through some things lately, but I'll be back in a second, guys. It's like, no, this is not that. This is career shifting. One point I want to make about that feature run: how much more legendary would this make Kendrick's status if he were to go on a West Coast run of features first? He get on them Rimble features, some of the folks on there like Jason Martin. If he does, YG feature, if he does all these different folks that were a part of that show, Cuzzos, like the looks that you.
Osama, yeah. I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Especially Zoe, I think they would make something crazy together. Zoe Osama would be crazy.
I mean, I think that's another critique that I've heard from people in Los Angeles after the battle too. People who are antagonistic or maybe skeptical about Kendrick's motivations for bringing everybody on stage. It's just a picture, a photo op. Yeah, are we trading features? Is that what we're gonna do?
Right.
Maybe, and who knows if he'll have them if he'll be on their albums or if he'll have them on his album. But absolutely, I think anything that gets more Kendrick in the marketplace,
I'm with it.
That adds up to a feature run. That's where we're at. That is literally the last thing that I can really say, right? I think that there was a lot of questions as this battle started. There was a lot of people online saying, "Yeah, but Kendrick's not really good with the punchlines. Kendrick's not really good with the bars.
Right?
Kendrick doesn't really write fast. Like he's been striking criticisms off the list this whole time." I think the only thing left in his career is that feature run.
Right.
And throw in some radio station appearances. Just do some bars no one heard of. Just throw the mugs out there.
Hey, man, come to the company, man, you too, for a second. Hey, you know what? Right. Matter of fact, I don't even got to ask no questions. I just want to be another window in the Zoom like this.
Exactly. Right. I think that's the only thing left. And I hope that there is something that still pushes him the way that Drake pushed him.